A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
An empty plastic bottle would give you 50 cents. A soda can, 60 cents. A used food container, 80. Wondering why I know this? Because that's my job. I am a trash picker at my school.
Harry, the trash prince is on a roll today. And how is your trashy affair with Bella coming? She lets you kiss her with that stink?
Their words don't bother me. They don't know why I do what I do. And my secret. I edge close to my class when I hear Bella and her friend talking.
You can't be serious, Bella. You want me to break up with him for you?
I would do it myself if his poverty didn't give me the creeps.
You are unbelievable.
I come face to face with Bella's friend. She knew I heard the conversation and couldn't meet my eyes. She hands me the new phone I bought for Bella and walks away. I saved for months to buy her this phone. I walk down the empty corridor with a heavy heart, pick the phone out of the box, slip my SIM in, and switch it on. When... Harry Parker, you have passed the poverty test? You are now the heir to Parker family's billions worth of assets?
If Harry is a billionaire, why does he work as a trash picker? What is his big secret? Why did he not reveal his billionaire status to Bella? To know more, listen to the audio series Destiny Reloaded, only on Pocket FM.
Presentation. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody out there in Turn 200 land. Welcome to the Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast. We're getting down into the nitty-gritty. It's week number 11 of season number 1 of 2024, and a lot on the line here today, and a lot of boxes left to check here in the final 2 weeks of the season. One test that everybody's going to have to try and survive here today is Big Old Road America in virtual Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and 13 drivers will do just that here on the Mission R Challenge Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast here on Turn 200. It's Tommy Cook, it's Matt Williamson hanging out with everybody. Matt, hopefully you enjoyed some family time last week. Happy to have you back here today. and tackling one of the favorites among stock car racing fans here at Road America.
Yeah, definitely good to be back, and we'll get to the point standings here in a second because these last 2 weeks are going to be pretty interesting to watch. But yeah, very excited to be back, and yeah, this should be an interesting test here for the Mission R. I feel like there's a lot of sweeping corners that this car typically doesn't like, so should be interesting to see how the drivers are able to navigate here today.
And it's one of the night races here this season. It's kind of clear right now, but by the end of this thing, it's going to be all headlights all the time. As qualifying is underway, got a couple minutes left in that. So, yes, indeed, a lot to walk through here in the point standings. But first, we should at least take a look at how they are sitting right now, heading into this race.
And here is a look at those points. JJ Wang has retaken the top spot in the last couple of weeks here, has 870 points. Olivia Hayward sits 19 points behind. And Ellis Spice, the former points leader for quite a while this season, he is 31 points behind in third. That's going to be a three-way battle for the championship. And then the battle for fourth is pretty heavy between Indica Scarlett and Thor Tola as well. And then you round out the top 10 here with Jamie Himmel, Smith, James Watson, Sam Wiggy, AJ Coley, and Adrian Johansson. But, I mean, we're looking at a couple of really good battles for top 5 positions in the points, including the championship.
Even off the track, Thor and Indica can't stay away from one another. So, yes, past week 8, it is drop race time. And the races that we're looking to drop, some small numbers for Olivia Hayward, which means big gains to be made on the leaderboard. JJ has a couple of races to drop that are less than ideal as well, but some very small numbers factoring into the championship total for Olivia Hayward. Not only that, but Olivia Hayward won the Thursday top split strength of field race, unbroadcasted, small field, but Olivia absolutely walked away with it. So Olivia looking for a big turnaround here, but we'll have to fight JJ Wang, which is something that Olivia did not have to do on Thursday. You mentioned car control. It actually, and I raced in the Thursday race, so I could speak to it a little bit, even though I'm not on the caliber of these drivers, that is for sure. But I was surprised, like you said, this car doesn't like to handle with a lot of the sweeping turns and the high lateral loading that we have. I thought it was okay. There were a couple of turns that you had to mind a little bit, but maybe these drivers that are pushing way harder than I did on Thursday will experience some of the problems that you and I have come to expect from tracks like Road America and another track that we'll have next week for the first time on the channel in Zandvoort for the Sunday Championship. Car handling always is an issue and could very well be an issue again here this afternoon. I want to welcome in everybody that's hanging out with us. Drop us a chat. Let us know that you're here. We got an exciting race here from Road America. No, not with the chicane. That's been the meme in the Discord server all week, is that participation would be higher if we put the chicane on down the long backstretch there. But no chicane, at least not this season. So with that, qualifying is over, and it is time to get to the starting grid for your 20-minute Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast for the Mission R Challenge from Road America. With the top time of 2 minutes, .887, it is Olivia Hayward leading the field to green, looking to take the points lead away from JJ Wang, starting on the outside of the front row. Thortola and Ellis Spice then on row number 2. It is James Watson and Indica Scarlett on the third row. Adrian Johansson and Rebecca David on row number 4. Georgie Trebsick and Alexander Cattermole round out your top 10 starters. Sean Bowman and Chavez Kirian on row number 6. And Adam Sloan, the 13th and final starter here today from virtual Wisconsin. Matt, sun is setting. It's about time to get rolling. What are the track conditions? How many laps are we looking at today?
Yeah, track temperature is at 79 degrees. So, I mean, obviously a nighttime race is going to help a little bit with the heating of those tires. Got to get them up to temperature first, though. So this first lap can be a little treacherous. We're looking at 10 laps around Road America here today, tonight, wherever you are. It's going to be nighttime here when we end the race. And it's obviously a 20-minute timed race. And here we go.
20 minutes, start the clock, 10 laps as Olivia Hayward leading the charge to turn number 1. We're underway here at Road America. JJ going around the outside.
Whoa.
There's contact. Wang is off into the gravel. Olivia Hayward runs wide as well. Now Olivia's around. More cars checking up. Hard into the barriers. Indica Scarlet goes. A disastrous opening turn here. Thor Tola leading James Watson through turn number 2.
And Ellis Spice sits here in third. That's exactly what Ellis wanted to see. The two championship contenders that are ahead of him both have issues starting with each other, and then Olivia goes off as well. But it's former championship points leader Thor Tola out here in front right now.
Tola, Watson, and Spice. The top 2 of this podium right now have been snubbed for podium runs all season. Looking pretty good to come away with it here, even as early as we are in this race. That was a wild opening corner, one of the wildest we've seen on the Michelin Challenge.
And here comes JJ Wang to the inside of Cattermole. He's going to get that position. Kirian almost was able to get around Cattermole as well, but Alexander will hang on to it for now. But JJ, after the off, didn't have damage to the vehicle. He's able to keep going, but Hayward, I believe, hit the wall pretty hard. Should have some damage on that vehicle, and may be at a big hindrance here for the rest of the race.
Yeah, Hayward made contact with the barriers. Indica Scarlet piled into the barriers. So I believe Indica will be out of this race, unfortunately. As for the lead, Thor Tola trying to fend off James Watson. Watson had a pretty good run there through Canada Corner, but nothing coming of it yet. But Tola will lead the opening circuit here, 4 miles around Road America, 14 turns, and a big uphill towards the start-finish line. Sean Bowman has gone for a spin in the back of the field. He'll give up, I believe he was running 8th or 9th at that point.
Here comes a huge dive from Watson.
Watson off track to try and complete that pass. Will definitely pick up an incident point, but I don't think has a slowdown. Watson over the radio says, I did not mean to do that. Thor's going to have a run, though. He got through turn 2 much better.
Yeah, that looked like a desperation. I have to get out of the way to not run into the person in front of me type of move. Watson just got in there a little too hot into turn 1. Tola nearly had a look to the inside here in the really tight downhill braking zone, but not able to get it done.
And Watson said over the radio, I was braking at my normal marker. That's one thing that I felt into turn number 1. Even after lap number 2 or 3, I felt like my regular markers weren't good enough. I had to consistently move them around as the run went along, and I really wasn't drafting with anybody.
Interesting.
So that just makes it that much more difficult for James Watson to judge that. He gets the lead from it. Thor sounds a bit perturbed, and he's not really fading away from James Watson here, so we're still going to have a battle for the lead on our hands as the leaders work through the carousel.
Before the race, off air, you and I kind of jokingly said if things go south in turn 1 that we might not get 10 laps in, and by my lord, it almost happened to everybody there.
Big 3-car pileup.
It looks
top
like
3 nose to tail.
Looks like Cattermole is either down pit road or jumped to the pits.
I think he has jumped to the pits. I just saw that he picked up a meatball flag. Looked like he had some
turn 1.
Yeah, Chevet Kirian made big contact there with Cattermole through the kettle bottoms and sent him hurtling into the barriers. Thor Tola going to have an opportunity here for the lead. Headed into 1. Nothing going just yet. Thor's sticking right with him.
Yeah, Watson did a good job of just kind of straddling the inside and the outside line there and trying to play some defense.
JJ Wang in the last lap moved up to P6 past Rebecca Davin. About 3 seconds to track down Adrian Johansson to get into the top 5. Tola going to look to the outside here into turn 5.
Whoa.
Tough maneuver to pull off. Watson a bit loose, though. This is where it's going to get really tough, yeah.
Yeah, Tola's going to try to go for a crossover here probably. Not really able to carry the speed through the corner.
In the hurry downs, here we go. Tola peeking to the inside, rolls out of it. This left-hander is where the car feels really unsteady, and Watson already has looked loose at a couple of different points.
And Tola has really looked aggressive to the inside, but maybe just trying to force Watson into pushing it a little too hard into one of these braking zones to make a mistake.
Tola again through the kettle bottoms. This will give him the inside positioning here into Canada corner. Oh, no, Spice with a big send behind them.
Yeah, Tola barely fit in that hole in between Spice and Watson.
So Watson under fire, but continues to lead here.
Olivia Hayward has gotten a couple of gifts from a couple of drivers having to retire here, and now is making a move on Rebecca Davin. That would be to get up to 8th. We're still trying to move forward as much as possible here.
And we'll take it.
Yep, gets that pass completed there into 1.
So Watson, Tola, and Spice, the podium all together here. About a second behind them, give a call out to Georgie Trepsick running P4 right now. Adrian Johansson's closing in on him. JJ Wang in P6. As here goes Thor Tola to the inside this time into 5. Watson leaving space. Going to use the runoff there. Oh, clipping of the sand there.
Whoa. Spice had to check up quite a bit for Tola, trying to get a good entry into that corner.
Hard to tell if Spice has the pace or is benefiting from the straight line draft here. But either way, Spice is looking to make a move here as well.
Spice seems to be really good through the first sector of the course, and then drops back a little bit there in the later half, but kind of gets that time back, it seems.
That was probably Watson's best carousel right there, and it still may not be enough. Thor Tola right on him.
Oh, he's going to send it this time.
He's got the positioning. They're nose to nose here. All even Stevens. Watson fighting hard. Will have the position here into 13. Tola will fall back in the line, at least for now.
Great battle between those two right now. Spice just hoping to be the benefactor.
Watson, pretty good exit there out of the final turn. We'll cross the halfway mark of the race on this lap. 11 minutes left to go now. In a wild Mission R Challenge race here for the Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast at Road America. JJ Wang past Adrian Johansson and into the top 5. Georgie Trepsick continuing to fade away from the top 3 here, and he's got less than a second gap back to JJ Wang. Thor Tola again going to look out to driver's right to the outside here for the upcoming turn number 5. Through the Marine sweep.
And Hayward also around Kirian, but those two now battling again side by side.
Tola got run out wide. It's going to open the door for Ellis Spice here. He was on the outside of Watson. Watson pinched him just a little bit. It looked like maybe Tola got a bit loose. But now he'll fend off Ellis Spice and not lose too much time here to James Watson. And behind this trio, as they're all slowing each other down, all of a sudden Trepsic is here and JJ Wang is here as well. So it's now the top 5 in a line here.
Definitely some places to make passes around this track, I feel like, more than maybe some of the other circuits that we go to throughout a Porsche Mission R season. So of all the places, I think this is one that you can make some passes work a lot easier. And here goes JJ. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy. That was a complete missing of the breaking point there. Unfortunately, going to take Ellis Spice with him, and that's... Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. That was unbelievable.
I mean, that almost looked like the pedal just didn't come off the floor when he tried to lift. That was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, something definitely amiss there. Either that or completely missed breaking point. It takes Ellis Spice with him. Spice going to drop back to P5 and has some separation back to Olivia Hayward. JJ Wang is back on track in 8th. No meatball flag, believe it or not. And now Georgie Trepsic going to move up to 3rd. And still the top 2 battle. Probably not knowing how close they just came to getting creamed. Oh, a little contact there. Tola again. Maybe looking for the out to in. That's exactly what he's looking for. Right here on Watson. Watson going to defend to the left.
And Tola obviously has a lot of pace. Probably getting quite frustrated behind Watson right now. Watson is so good at playing defense.
What had helped Watson up to this point was the fact that Ellis Spice was there to stick a nose in or take a shot every now and then. But now Tola's complete focus can be straight ahead. Tola and Watson both battling for their first Sunday top split strength of field broadcasted victory.
Hayward looking to get around. Johansson is going to get up to 5th. JJ Wang's dropped back to 9th.
Slow traffic ahead here for Watson. We're going to dispatch rather quickly Adam Sloan. He'll stay off to the right side. Oh, Kirian running P7 has just gone off the track and is immediately going to disconnect from the session. So that'll be one more spot for JJ Wang here. I have no idea where the championship standings are at this point. Things just keep changing. Can't keep track of them. It's been a wild one, for sure.
One thing that stayed constant, Thor Tola has been all over the back of James Watson.
We talk about how powerful the draft is. Down the Moraine sweep in particular, Thor Tola. Oh, Watson's going to go wide. It's going to open the door. Tola is back to the lead.
Now we'll see if Watson can stay with Tola throughout the course. As long as Watson can stay within draft range, there's 2 big drafting points here. And really, almost 3, but 2 major ones that Watson will be able to stick with Tola, even if he's a little bit slower throughout some of the rest of the turns.
Watson has looked better here the last few circuits in the carousel than Thor Tola, but not having to do that in dirty air. Still looked pretty strong, though, this time. These two are 2.5 seconds clear of Georgie Trepsick back in third. Trepsick 2.5 seconds clear of Ella Spice. Tola trying to put the power down and get away from James Watson, not succeeding at this point, at this moment in time.
Thor's pulled a pretty good gap on the start-finish stretch here for Watson. Got a much better exit out of that last corner. Oh, Watson! Wow.
Another missed braking point there. Closed right in. Luckily, they didn't make contact. I'm not sure how much it was Watson missing his, or it was Thor Tola being in the lead for the first time, and maybe his braking point was the brake lights on James Watson this entire race.
Yeah, I mean, Watson seemed like he got through there pretty easily, even with the, coming up on Tola really quickly.
It ain't easy being in the lead.
Yeah, Watson didn't seem like he carried too much speed. I feel like he was still going to be able to make that corner pretty easily, so maybe Tola needing to adjust his braking zones like we talked about earlier.
Look how dark it's gotten.
Can hardly see the side of the cars anymore.
Ella Spice slowly closing in on Georgie Trepsick. Still plenty of work to do, though, and a couple laps to do it in. Olivia Hayward in fifth, closing in on Ella Spice.
J.J. Wank just got through Rebecca Davin to get up to seventh, so trying to make some points back here. We'll have a few things to look at after this one's over.
I was going to say. And maybe a few more. Watson bit right of the rumble strips there, dipped the right side tires off into the grass. Still hanging. They're running about 2 minute, 10-second laps, so it'll be 2 to go at the line. Watson again, at least going to look out to the right. He's going to make the big move. Watson makes it stick. Watson back to the lead.
That's twice now. Watson's been able to get that move done into the first turn.
Well, this time at least it was intentional. But maybe this is where Thortola wants to be, at least for now. Watson again wide into 5. Arguably, that's been his weak spot this entire race. A lot of curbing there in 6. Tola still hounding, looking to take back the lead. Pulls out of it in the hurry downs, headed to the carousel. Tola got the better run out of the carousel. Down to a car length. Will Thor look to regain the top spot here into Canada Corner? Out to the right. Rolls out of it.
Much shallower entry for Tola, but still able to keep the pace.
Yeah, another couple feet further up, and I think he would have made that move. Oh, great run here through 13. How will the complexion of this race change by the time we get back to turn 14 next time?
Might have
20.
an
Tola gonna try and go for it here into turn one. White flag.
I think's better of it.
He knows he'll have another opportunity here into 5. As long as he executes here, third turn and number 3. Watson might have just enough space. Tola searching.
He's going to send it.
Trying to wedge that door open on the inside. Watson gets a great run out. Opportunities are dwindling.
That was definitely the best look there into 5 Tola's had all race long, and still not able to get it done.
Not through the hurry downs. To the carousel we go. Tola again, another go to run out. Patience here through the kink. Oh, Watson got a great run out of the turn, though. Two turns left to go for James Watson. He's putting space back to Thortola. Tola got through 13, great. Still a couple of car lengths behind.
Tola's been really good through this final turn. Can he make a run?
He went wide. It's going to be James Watson up the hill and across the line for the first time. Watson takes Road America in the Michelin Challenge. Georgie Trepsick going to finish P3. How about it? What a wild race for our points contenders in the championship, but this is a rewarding race on the scoreboard to the drivers that have not gotten much love in the results columns this season.
Yeah, certainly a race a lot of our championship drivers would like to forget. There in the last couple laps, Olivia Hayward had an off track and Johansson had gotten around. Olivia actually had to pass Johansson again to get up to the top 5 position. Where do we even start?
Well, you could start at the beginning. I mean, turn 1, lap 1 was, boy, oh boy.
Well, here it is. And notice how much brighter it is here. That's Hayward on the inside, JJ on the outside. Contact between those two. JJ goes sliding off into the gravel. And then I believe this is... Oh, no, I don't think there was any contact. Hayward just was trying to get that car under control and maybe a bit of an overcorrection. Got just the left rear tire into the dirt there on the side of the track and made that contact with the barrier. That's Indica Scarlet that was around as well. And then later on, gonna find that JJ Wang incident here. This is JJ working back through the field. I mean, just completely blows through the braking zone and collides with Ellis Spice, who was in 3rd. JJ was in 5th at the time. I'm gonna back it up and go on board with JJ. I just want to see if we can maybe figure out what happens here.
He said something about over the radio being tucked up right behind Georgie, not being able to maybe see his braking point as if he's trying to make that move.
Yeah, it was
Oh my!
quite the incident there.
Wow.
So those were the two major incidents of the day. There were many more throughout.
Yeah, Alexander Cattermole got pretty well punted through the kink early in this one. Picked up a meatball flag. I think I ended up finishing the race, however, just one lap down. So, yes, indeed.
And this right here on your screen, that's the final pass that was made for the lead. James Watson into turn 1 again. Alrighty, should we get to the finishing order here?
Let's go ahead and do it. It's the first Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast victory for James Watson after being stumped for multiple podiums this season. It's finally time just to get him on the top spot outright here. So we'll talk to him momentarily. Hopefully we get to talk to Thor Tola and Georgie Trepsic as well. They round out the podium. I believe their first podiums of this season as well. Ella Spice and Olivia Hayward both, I mean, all things considered, great recoveries for them to finish 4th and 5th. Adrian Johansson in 6th. JJ Wang going to finish down in 7th. Championship implications galore today. Rebecca David in P8. Indica Scarlett going to finish one down in P9. Alexander Cattermole in 10th. Sean Bowman in 11th. Adam Sloan in 12th. And the only DNF after all that today is Chauvet Kirian in 13th. I'm going to wait just a second to see if our podium finishers roll in before we talk to our race winner. Didn't get any interviews last week. I think Bathurst related there. But we'll see if we can talk to James Watson or Georgie Trepsic or Thor Tola. I'm not seeing them pop in. So we'll go ahead and bring in your race winner then for the first time here on the Sunday Top Split. James Watson in a thrilling battle all race long. Finally a winner here on Sunday afternoons, my friend. Congrats.
Yeah. Wow, that was unexpected is putting it mildly. I was not really anticipating any sort of good result coming into today. I was struggling in practice, getting my lines and my braking markers down, especially in the conditions. Like for whatever reason, when it gets dark, I get so much slower and inconsistent because I just have so much trouble seeing the apexes, seeing the corner curbs. So I'm like, this is gonna be rough. I'm like, if I can come out with some sort of decent result, I'll consider it a win. And I guess I'm gonna be considering the win a win.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, I'd say you can consider this a win because it literally and statistically is. Your last pass there to regain the lead was fantastic. Your first pass to take the lead looked a bit questionable, to say the least. But I mean, what was the learning curve? Obviously, you had it figured out by the end of the race, but you talk about the uncertainty maybe at the beginning and in practice as well. I mean, what did it take to sort of hone in on what it took today?
Yeah, well, what was funny was the first pass was me not even attempting to make a pass. I literally, and I apologized to Thor after it happened. I was just breaking out my normal braking marker, and I'm like, and then suddenly the closing rate, I'm like, I'm like, oh, we survived. I'm in the lead. The heck? I'm like, okay. That wasn't what I was trying to do, but worked out like that. And so yeah, so it was just trying to hold him off from then, and then in turn 5, he got me with like one of the greatest crossovers that you'll ever see. Like when it happened, like I couldn't even be upset about it. It's like I ain't even mad. That's incredible. And so it was just at that point, I'm like, oh well, it was nice to be leading. At least, hopefully, I'll finally get that long-awaited podium to stop getting blue balled on that. And then then I got close to him again in turn 1, and he said, I just can't. Hey, he's like, I just haven't found my braking marker through turn 1. And I'm like, by then I'm like, oh, ears perk up. So I'm like, okay, if I can keep with him coming out of the last corner, then I should be able to send it and get the lead back and hopefully hold on to it from there. And I was close enough with 2 to go, and I sent it, and that may have been one of my greatest ever sends. And I pulled it off, and thankfully I was able to keep just enough of a gap to where I could avoid being in the same position in turn 5, uh being vulnerable to the crossover. I was able to hold just enough of a gap to where he couldn't quite do the same thing, and I was able to get a better exit through there. And that and turn 1 are the best passing zones for this car on this track. And since I already had turn 1 good enough, it's like if I could just keep him back in turn 5, then I got him, and lo and behold.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner?
Yeah, congratulations on the win. We kind of talked about you and Thor were playing a little bit of cat and mouse, but once you get to the lead, really when you didn't mean to, how much different is it when you're leading the field and somebody's chasing you rather than you trying to chase somebody else on a track with a car that you're not as familiar with as your competitor?
Well, it's a lot more nerve-wracking and stressful because you have the anxiety of being out in the lead, and even with everything that I've accomplished in sim racing, I still get, especially in circumstances where I'm typically not usually in the lead, like the SOF today. I'm still dealing with all that stress and anxiety, and it gets so bad that I could feel like my legs shaking as I'm applying brakes. So trying to keep myself as calm and centered as I can be in the situation, and then plus what I mentioned with the struggling to even see out there, it's easier because you have their headlights lighting the way for you and you can just follow along with their turn in. But when you're the one pacing the field, you don't have that added help. So you're just kind of turning in vaguely where you think the apex is and just praying that you're close enough. And thankfully a lot of the toughest corners with that weren't really passing zones. So whatever tenths I lost, being off on my turn in earlier or late, what have you, wasn't really hurting me because I was able to see enough in the important areas.
Well, it's win number 5 for you here on Turn 200. First here on a Sunday afternoon. Congratulations to you. Anybody want to shout out or say hi to?
Yeah, I gotta thank everyone at Team Lawson Racing. I feel bad for JJ because I'm basically like I'm his Sergio. I'm Sergio Perez to his Max Verstappen. Like he's he's the reigning champion. He's has a bunch of these SOF wins. He's one of the best to step foot in this car. So I'm just here for support and trying to help him get to the championship. And so I am not supposed to be in this position. So in the early 2023 Sergio Perez fashion, I'm here to pick up the win when things go unpredictably pear-shaped. But I know this is a huge hit to his championship, and I feel I feel really bad about that because I take almost as if not more joy watching my teammates, watching my guys succeed more so myself. And so it's bittersweet because I know this win might be the killing blow in his championship hopes with what happens, but hopefully he can bounce back next week But yeah, I used code WATSPIN39 for 10% off at checkout. I got to thank Martin Sports Sim Racing Apparel, Chris Graham of the National Racing Network, ZS Designs and Dizzy V Designs for putting together my paint schemes, and Boomer Button boxes.
All right, partner. Well, excited for Wednesday. Excited for your special plans for the Daredevil series. And looking forward to that. But in the meantime, go celebrate the win. And we'll catch you again down the road. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thortola in the Discord says he's going to pass on an interview, but thanks us for the broadcast. And today was a wild one. Today, I think probably a lot of people going to be a bit sore emotionally after this one. So I'm not sure this will see a high view count post-stream. But regardless, a wild one. A lot of contenders for our Turn 10 here coming up next week. And I don't know what else really to say. Like James said, today was a big blow to JJ Wang's championship efforts. We'll have to see how things go next week for the first time in series history and channel history at the new Zandvoort.
Yeah, things are going to be interesting. We'll see how the points shake out here after today, and things might be closer than we ever thought they would be going into next week. It could be very, very tight among the top three, with literally in reverse order, first, second, and third finished, in the reverse. Ellis beat Olivia. Olivia was ahead of JJ, so it'll be interesting to see how things shake out in the points, and you're not gonna want to miss next week, that's for sure.
Absolutely, we're going Dutch next week. It's time finally to have Zandvoort, the new Zandvoort, on the channel. We've never even got the old Zandvoort on the channel, but very excited to get one of my personal favorite road courses on the channel for the very first time. And the Mission R Challenge should be interesting around the high bank turns of Zandvoort next week to potentially, can't officially do it, especially with how tight the championship is, since they continue to have splits that could potentially go official after the Sunday top split all the way to Monday afternoon. But I'm going to be awfully close to crowning a champion on the Sunday top split Strength of Field broadcast next time around. Between now and then, we will crown officially a champion for the Venom Truck Series. It's all done and dusted. Nathan Reynolds has already locked it down. But who will plant their flag in the infield of Kansas, the Oval, for the first time in league history? That's the Venom Truck Series on Tuesday night. That'll be the next time that we're on stream. Kicking off right around 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday night, the Daredevil Series. We've been up in the ante quite a bit here the last couple of weeks with the craziness in the Daredevil Series. We are summiting Crazy Mountain on Wednesday night, taking them to Bristol Motor Speedway. Good God, that is going to be a wild night. You don't want to miss it. Bristol this Wednesday for the Daredevil Series. I don't think anybody is prepared. Then Thursday, a wild opening stretch here for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. 2 classic Turn 200 finishes in a row to open up their season. They will be at Las Vegas here for race number 3. I don't know how we could possibly raise the bar anymore, but we'll find out on Thursday. And that will lead us into our Sunday Top Split broadcast from Zandvoort here next week. To make sure that you are here on time for everything we got going this week, be sure to hit subscribe on your way out of the stream here tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us here today. Greatly appreciate everybody that comes out and watches us here. And we'll see it on down the road for everybody with a Mission Art community. For the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we're saying so long from Road America, where James Watson is finally on the top step here on the Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast for the Mission Art Challenge. Have a good one, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.